Coming up here at 4, crews respond to a second alarm fire in Westover. We bring you the details. Plus, a record number of Americans are hitting retirement age in 2024 and still may need to plan for major medical expenses. Those stories and more right now.
From WBNG, the Southern Tier's #1 local news. This is 12 News at 4.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here at 4. I'm Zach Grady. We begin today on the Binghamton University campus. Emily Mackay took to the track in Paris, while the Binghamton Bearcat community took to the marketplace on campus for an Olympic watch party. There was not a table to be found at the Vestal Marketplace as students, athletes, administrators, and even Baxter came together to support their fellow Bearcat, Emily Mackay. Not just a Binghamton grad, but also an alum of Union Endicott. She competed in the women's 1,500-meter race at the Paris Summer Olympics. While the race did not go the way the university or Emily was hoping for, Bearcats Director of Athletics Eugene Marshall expressed how proud Binghamton was of Mackay's performance.
It felt like family. It felt like sitting in the living room and watching your relative compete. And that's what we have here. That's what we strive for. We strive for a family-type atmosphere. Like I said before, it's one Binghamton. We're proud of Emily. Can't wait for her to get home so we can tell her that.
Mackay's Olympic run ended in the women's 1,500-meter semifinal, finishing with a time of 4 minutes, 2.30 seconds. This is Emily's first Olympic trick, and most predict that she should return in 2028 at the Los Angeles Summer Games. This morning around 6:30 a.m., crews responded to a second alarm house fire located on Camden Street in Westover. Firefighters arrived on the scene to find a house filled with smoke. Bob Blesky, the fire marshal for Johnson City Fire Department, tells 12 News how they were able to get this fire put out.
They got here, they were met with heavy fire. It seemed like there's fire coming from every window, so they went to work making sure that everybody had gotten out of the house. I know that there was a number of individuals that resided here that were taken for observation, but to my knowledge, no serious injuries.
Following the second alarm fire, Endicott, Enwell, City of Binghamton, and West Corners Fire Department responded. The fire was put out around 6:30 a.m. this morning. Officials report there were no injuries and a little kitten was saved from the home. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. This is a developing story, so stay with 12 News on air and online for the latest updates. The Democratic ticket is going back on the road today with a stop in Michigan before heading to Arizona for a rally tomorrow. Vice President Kamala Harris appears to be gaining momentum on former President Donald Trump after securing the nomination and naming a new vice presidential running mate. Republicans are going on the attack, though, against her new VP choice with accusations of stolen valor. Skylar Henry has more details from Washington, D.C.
Vice President Kamala Harris and her new running mate, Governor Tim Walz, are back on the campaign trail today, meeting with auto workers in Detroit this afternoon.
We have the numbers. We have the votes. And when we stand up united, we put fear in the hearts of the billionaire class.
Harris and Walz have been drawing huge crowds during the tour, with an estimated 15,000 in Detroit Wednesday and 12,000 in Eau Claire, Wisconsin earlier in the day.
I waited in the line to get parking for almost an hour, so you got to be dedicated if you're going to come to one of these.
The crowds show there is some momentum and enthusiasm among Democrats. Former President Trump is trying to blunt that momentum. He criticized the media's coverage on social media and falsely accused Harris of paying people to attend the rallies. Trump and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, are also going after Walz, attacking his military record.
He has not spent a day in a combat zone. What bothers me about Tim Walz is the stolen valor garbage. Do not pretend to be something that you're not.
That was a reference to this comment from Walz.
We can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
The Harris campaign responded, saying in his 24 years of service, the governor carried, fired, and trained others to use weapons of war innumerable times. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
We take a look now for the first time at our forecast this afternoon. We head on over to the Weather Center as Chief Meteorologist Howard Manges joins us for our first forecast. Howard, I know you were mentioning something about a flash flood warning before we got on air here.
Yeah, we've got a flood watch in effect here for counties shaded in green. Again, we're looking at the counties there, and we're going to be watching the risk of some flash flooding as we head into tomorrow and tomorrow night. Excessive rainfall. There's a look. This is from the Weather Prediction Center. We are in a 3 out of 4 risk level for excessive rain. Again, we talk about excessive rainfall. The definition of that is heavy enough rain over a short enough amount of time to cause flash flooding. And this is a tropical-based system. It can produce incredible rainfall rates. Soils are rather wet, and yeah, the risk is there for some flash flooding. There's a look at the picture right now. The storm is sitting essentially on the South Carolina-North Carolina border. This will get picked up by a trough in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and it will pick up speed as it moves to the north and east. That could be a good thing, but it's also going to start to bring the risk of some very heavy rainfall. We'll talk about timing in just a bit.
Thank you, Howard, and thank you for clarifying, as he had mentioned, that is a watch. A watch. And watch out for the latest First Alert weather information. You can download that on our free Storm Track 12 weather app or visit our website, WBNG.com. We'll be right back after this break. Stay tuned. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We are staying right here with you, as more than 3 million people in the U.S. are living without emphysema, according to the American Lung Association. But experts say many may not even know that they have it. While smoking is the most common cause of emphysema, it is not the only source that the American Lung Association says emphysema is caused by. But also being around secondhand smoke for prolonged periods. Genetics can also be a cause as well, indoor and outdoor air pollution, and many may not even know that they have the disease.
For some patients, I tell them it's like having a scar on your skin. Your skin still works, just like emphysema. Your lungs overall will still work.
While there are no cure for emphysema at this time, there is a diagnosis. This can be identified, and lifestyle changes can be made to help spare the rest of the lung. Red flags include coughing up mucus, wheezing, chest tightness, and breathlessness during everyday tasks. Treatment options include inhalers and pulmonary rehabilitation, but you need to be diagnosed first. According to a new report from the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the rate of stroke deaths among middle-aged Americans was the highest in 2 decades during the pandemic. The report shows that the stroke death rate for people ages 45 to 64 grew 7% from 2012 to 2019. Then it spiked another 12% in 2020 and 2021. Stroke deaths for this age group dipped slightly in 2022, but were still significantly higher than before the pandemic. Medical experts warn that middle age is an important time to manage risk factors such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. They say it's important to recognize stroke symptoms and to get to the hospital as fast as possible. First-time applications for unemployment benefits fell, putting some recession fears on hiatus. The federal government reports initial jobless claims last week fell 233,000, down from the prior week's 250,000 filings. Economists say that this is within the range of a fairly healthy labor market. But the report wasn't all good news. Continuing claims or applications from people who have filed for unemployment for at least 1 week increased to 1.88 million. This is the 9th straight week at or above that level. According to a report released from Redfin, the number of U.S. cities with housing markets valued at over $1 trillion doubled from just 4 last year to 8 in 2024. Chicago, Phoenix, Anaheim, Washington, and now join New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Boston as cities where total home values top $1 trillion. The report also showed that the value of homes across the country jumped $3.1 trillion to a record $49.6 trillion in the last year. The new data underscores how much home prices have skyrocketed in a very short amount of time. A Redfin economist estimates that the value of America's housing market will likely cross the $50 trillion threshold in the next 12 months. That's due to supply and demand, as there are not enough homes being listed to push down prices. According to the Alliance for Lifetime Income, a record number of Americans are hitting retirement age in 2024, about 11,000 a day, and millions of them will start using Medicare. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says people receiving the government health insurance still need to pay and plan for a major medical expense.
65 million Americans currently receive Medicare for health coverage, but still face plenty of out-of-pocket expenses. A new report from Fidelity Investments reveals that a 65-year-old retiring this year can expect to spend, on average, $165,000 for health care and medical expenses throughout retirement. That number has more than doubled since 2002. Those expenses include premiums for Medicare Parts A and B, prescription drugs, and other costs like co-payments, co-insurance, and deductibles. The number is expected to go up about 5% every year, so people who are currently working need to plan for these expenses now. If your company offers it, enroll in a high-deductible health plan paired with a tax-free health savings account. If you leave your job, you can take your HSA with you and even use it decades in the future. If you don't have access to these plans, consider creating a separate investment account reserved just for health care. Putting a little bit of money away every month can help make sure you're covered during retirement. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Still to come here at 4. It has been 1 year since wildfires devastated the town of Luana, and the rebuilding process is still slow going. We take a look back when we come back.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider.
Switch to Spectrum Internet starting at $29.99 a month. Call 1-855-412-7647.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too. Call now.
Attention, if you have Medicaid and live in New York and need assistance with daily living, you can receive a 100% free service and get help in the comfort of your own home by a loved one. Call Freedom Care now so you can receive daily help preparing meals, bathing, doing laundry, receiving transportation, and more. All done by a family member or friend that gets paid to be your caregiver. You get to decide who provides your care, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. It's all funded by Medicaid, so it's 100% free to you. Call in the next 10 minutes to see if you qualify. The Freedom Care family will explain the process, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. Freedom Care is #1 in New York and has received over 4,000 five-star reviews. They've been helping families for years. This service is 100% free to you through Medicaid, so call right now and see how fast you can get started with Freedom Care.
Call 1-607-228-8129 or go to freedomcare.com.
You've worked hard. Long days, year after year, decade after decade. You've seen a lot of things, enjoyed the good times, and weathered the tough times. You've earned a life that you can call your own, alongside the people you love the most. Retirement worries shouldn't get in the way. But many Americans like you are finding that retiring on a fixed income is harder than they expected. Fortunately, there are thousands of benefits programs that can help. Visit benefitscheckup.org to see if you're among the millions of people eligible for thousands of dollars in benefits to help you age well, so you can focus on what's really important. Benefits Checkup. You've earned this.
Breaking news here in Metro Atlanta.
This is a hostage situation.
Rethink how you get breaking news. With Local News Live, you get the big national stories direct from local reporters. Reporters who know the streets and the people. Authentic, unfiltered, live where the story is. Stay close, stay connected, because the big breaking stories are best told by those who live it.
Local News Live. Always streaming on all 12 News digital platforms.
Thank you for rejoining us here at 4. Somber commemorations are being held on Maui today to mark a full year since one of the deadliest wildfires in U.S. history ripped through the island. The disaster killed at least 102 people and destroyed a large number of homes and businesses. Jonathan Vigliotti reports from the devastated town of Luana, where the rebuilding process is slow going.
Please post it in the comments.
August 8th, 2023 haunts survivors. From the last-minute escape to images of what the fire left behind and the lives it claimed. 1 year later, many survivors face a daunting road to recovery.
This is the main house right here.
Glenn and Lehuel lost their home of 23 years.
How difficult has the last year been for you?
Having so much courage, trying to be focused. You know, we've got some good days, some bad days.
Insurance and a federal loan will help cover the cost to rebuild. But with a construction shortage, it's been difficult to even get the blueprints required for a permit.
When do you hope to break ground on your new home?
We have no idea.
Crews have cleared about 95% of the 2,200 structures leveled in Lahaina, but only 47 permits have been approved. For now, helping the displaced is the short-term priority. The governor welcomed residents into new housing units on Wednesday.
There will be thousands of homes built now. These houses are some of the first.
Today, difficult discussions about the future are on hold as Lahaina reflects on all that was lost.
It's going to bring back a lot of emotion, especially for my wife. I always try to hide my emotions, but when I looking at her, always, I want her to be happy.
And the EE say today will be the hardest day since the fire. Today is about honoring the 102 victims that were lost and the thousands of people that are still struggling to get back on their feet. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Maui.
We head over to the Weather Center one more time to check our forecast here at 4. Howard, what's going on outside?
We're getting ready for an active period starting late tonight into tomorrow. And the national radar showing what's coming our way, and that is a tropical storm. Right now, it will not be a tropical storm by the time it gets here, but we do have a lot of moisture streaming out north of that. And we've been seeing rounds of light to even some steady rain at times. But as expected, no problems here today. Coming in even closer, you'll see the showers are moving through northern Pennsylvania and Broome County, Delaware. I mean, they've been kind of filling the radar screen over the last couple hours, and that will likely continue to be the case, at least over the next several hours. There's a look at Tropical Storm Debbie. It is now sitting on the North Carolina-South Carolina border. It is going to lift north very slowly, at least initially, then as a trough over the Great Lakes begins to pick it up. It will pick up speed and will likely move potentially right over top of us. And as I've been stressing, the path of that storm will be crucial in where the band of heaviest precipitation falls. If the storm moves off to our west more, it takes the heavy rain farther west. If it moves off to the east, it brings the heavier rain close to us, if not, even a little bit farther. So key is where that storm goes. Excessive rainfall, though, we have pretty wet conditions, and this is tropical moisture. Yeah, we've got 3 out of 4 risk here for excessive rainfall tomorrow and tomorrow night. Severe risk, it's not 0. Tomorrow we're at a 2 out of 5 in the yellow shading, including Binghamton. Southeastern Broome County, northeastern Pennsylvania, the rest of the area in green shading is a 1 out of 5. Now, the risk of a tornado tomorrow is not 0. It is a 5 to 9% chance right now in that slight risk. You see Broome County, northeastern Pennsylvania, southern Delaware County. Why? That will likely change based on exactly how that storm path ends up. And then as we look, again, 2 to 4%. Through the green shading there. So it's an overall low threat. Doesn't guarantee a tornado. It's very important to understand that. Doesn't guarantee a tornado, but it's not 0. So it's something that we have to talk about. Flash flooding is going to be the highest risk tomorrow. Minor flood stage could be reached in a few spots on main stem rivers. Good news is the official river forecasts have come down a little bit since yesterday. Severe storm risk is higher tomorrow versus today, or versus what it was yesterday. and then still could be a wide range in rainfall, anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3 inches of rain, and there could be some isolated higher totals. So again, working on the forecast now. We'll have an update on 12 News at 5. 60s outside right now. Dew points very muggy. These will come into the 70s as we head through the day tomorrow. So this evening, scattered showers possible into tonight. Again, some heavy downpours tomorrow. We're going to start off mainly dry east, and rain may take a little longer to get off to the east. That's why by midday, near and west of I-81 into the Finger Lakes, some heavy rain possible. Then 4 or 5 o'clock, that heavy rain moves eastward as the storm does. That'll be the best chance at maybe a severe thunderstorm, perhaps an isolated tornado. By 8 o'clock, that severe risk moves east. So does the heaviest rain. And then by 10 or 11 o'clock, the heavy rain is gone. And look at Saturday. Saturday isn't going to be a bad day at all. There's a very small risk of maybe a passing sprinkle on Saturday, but that first alert is in effect for Saturday only for the first few hours of Saturday, most likely just after midnight, to account for any flash flooding that may happen during the day on Friday. But we're in the 70s here over the next 7 days, and really the big story tomorrow is just keeping weather aware. Download the WBNG Storm Track 12 weather app, and you know that, in fact, I think all three of us will be in the office tomorrow, keeping an eye on this storm.
Yeah, absolutely, and we won't hold you up here, Howard, because I know you are working diligently to keep us updated on the most latest information.
Got to get it ready for the 5 o'clock.
Absolutely. Thank you. We have more stories coming up here after the break, but here's a look at a sneak peek of what's coming up next on Investigate TV Plus.
Today on Investigate TV Plus, African-American burial grounds face a threat from construction and development.
We take an in-depth look at one woman's quest to get answers as families struggle to protect sacred grounds.
At Toyota's National Sales Event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Right now, get Tundra with 1.99% APR for 48 months, plus $1,000 TFS subvention APR cash, or lease a new 2024 Tundra for just $499 a month.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nanny gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay, and how fast you can get started.
As a kid delivering newspapers, I saw it all. Family, neighbors, off to factory jobs that built our town. Nobody cared about your political party. What mattered was whether you worked hard. But I also saw the headlines when we were sold out. Our plants closed, their profits soared, and politicians got paid. I'm Josh Riley, and I'm running for Congress to change things. I support term limits, and I don't take any corporate PAC money because my vote is not for sale. I'm Josh Riley, and I approve this message.
We're the Sven Squad from Svengoolie, part of Super Sci-Fi Saturday Night.
On MeTV, we're not in the movie. We're just kind of around the movie.
And after Svengoolie...
Holy clockwork, what next?
You'll see a Caped Crusader, Captain Kirk, Kolchak, and a collection of classic sci-fi. The corpse in me is just dying to see them. Corpse?
And no one can talk to a corpse, of course, unless, of course, the
No talking during the show.
Sorry.
Super Sci-Fi Saturday Nights on Binghamton's MeTV.
I'm Zach Grady, and for decades now, 12 Sports has been your home and your one-stop shop for everything athletic across the Southern Tier.
And this year's no different. We're practically everywhere. From inside the studio to out on the field, 12 Sports has got it all.
Summer, winter, or fall, basketball, baseball, and football.
You can count on 12 Sports to be everywhere and all things Southern Tier. Welcome back once again. 12 News wants to help make sure students are ready to go back to school with our annual backpack drive. You can drop off a backpack at the Serve Pro on Conklin Ave in Binghamton, Enwell Family Physicians, Hatala Orthodontics, and some Tioga State Bank locations. Backpacks will be distributed from Catholic Charities Food Pantry in Binghamton. For more details, visit our website at WBNG.com. And it was a very exciting day yesterday in Norwich as the city's newly approved flag was presented to the Common Council. You can see flag designer Zachary Smith raising the flag at the Norwich City Plaza. Smith's flag was chosen out of 8 finalists. The flag has 3 simple colors, and its goal is to describe the geography and beauty of the Norwich area. When chosen Smith's flag, the flag committee noted that its 7 rays of sun could also easily represent the 7 roads that enter the city, ensuing the feeling of that all roads lead home. And finally here today, before we go anywhere, the Indiana State Fair may be home to quite literally the cheesiest sculpture you'll ever see. Nearly 2,000 pounds of yellow and white cheese that has been sculpted into a piece of art. It was unveiled on Wednesday, and the sculptors behind the dairy concoction are Nancy Baker and Sarah Kaufman, who are affectionately known as the Cheese Ladies. The fair's theme is classic art. The women decided to sculpt 2 of the most famous paintings, American Gothic and the Mona Lisa. The sculpture will be displayed until August 18th, which is when the fair ends. And that's going to do it for here at 4 on Channel 12. We thank you for joining us. Remember, as always, you can visit WBNG.com or our 12 News app. We'll be back in about a half hour with 12 News at 5. Here's a live look downtown. Thank you for joining us.